You are listening to an Audio Box original story. Please like and subscribe, and I will create more stories for your listening pleasure.
Chapter 5, Ghost in the Machine. Factory 9 loomed out of the morning mist like a tomb of glass and steel. To an outsider, it was a sophisticated logistics warehouse, surrounded by lush trees and manicured landscapes. But the double perimeter fence and guards patrolling with high-caliber rifles told a different story the moment one reached the main gate. Glia flashed her ID at the guard, her face a mask of cold professionalism. As she parked her Mini Cooper, the engine's rhythmic ticking sounded like a countdown in the damp air. "I practically grew up here," she thought, her grip tightening on the steering wheel. Her father had founded this organization, and after her mother died when she was 6, the factory had become her playground. She remembered the early years, being forbidden to wander past the first level, a rule she had broken with the quiet rebellion of a lonely child. She had caught glimpses of the bunkers deep beneath the asphalt, the stale air, the fluorescent hum, and the men in white coats moving like ghosts through the concrete arteries of the building. Then came the day she went too far. She remembered the specific frequency of the screams that had echoed up from the lower levels, a sound that had ended her curiosity and started her training. Now, years later, she held a high rank within the agency her father built, yet she felt more like a stranger here than ever. Rayon was already standing near a diagnostic station when she entered the main hangar. He looked exhausted, his shoulders slumped as if the weight of the building was pressing down on him. His eyes lit up with a flicker of relief when he saw her, a silent anchor in a room full of sharks. Commander Kane stood between them, his silhouette sharp against a holographic map of the Northern Territories. Glia approached Kane, looking him directly in the eyes. She wanted to get some answers about the last mission, and wanted to know what made Rayon fly off at the handle. "Commander Kane, can I have a word with you in private?" she said in a monotone voice. "We can talk later. Something has come up, and I need you two to go on another mission," Kane said, his voice cutting through the industrial hum. "Last night our support team at the Blackwood Cottage was eliminated. 3 men. It was a professional execution." Glia felt a chill crawl up her spine. The 3 shots in the dark, the cottage. Her visions weren't just dreams, they were glimpses into the past and future. "I'm sending you two to the site," Kane continued. "Scrub the evidence and find out who's hunting our people. But first," he turned to Rayon, his gaze clinical and devoid of empathy, "we need to run a diagnostic. The last mission showed irregularities in your heart rate. I want you on the machine for a quick recalibration before you depart." Rayon stiffened. He knew what recalibration meant. More needles, more serum, more losing himself to the savage. He looked at Glia, but before she could intervene, a technician wheeled over the Neuralink apparatus. "Commander, we should head out now if we want to beat the rain," Glia suggested, her pulse quickening. 5 minutes, Agent," Kane snapped. "Connect him." Just as the technician reached for Rayon's temple, the chime returned. It wasn't a sound from the room. It was a vibration in Glia's teeth, a frequency only she seemed to feel. Then, the warehouse was plunged into absolute darkness. The hum of the servers, the whir of the ventilation, the glow of the monitors, everything died instantly. A heavy, suffocating silence fell over the hangar. "Security! Status!" Kane shouted, followed by the metallic snick of him drawing his sidearm. In the dark, Glia didn't move. She closed her eyes and leaned into the void. She didn't feel the panic of the guards, she felt a presence. A cold, calm draft drifted past her. It wasn't a power failure, it was him. Subject 012 was reaching into the building's nervous system, protecting the boy who was his legacy. "Glia," Rayon's voice whispered, barely audible. "Don't move," she breathed. A few seconds later, the emergency lights flickered to life, bathing the room in a dim, bloody red. The main power surged back, the machines whining as they rebooted. Kane stood with his gun drawn, looking around frantically. A localized surge? In a facility this secure? He barked at the technician. "Check the breakers, now!" Kane was focused on the guards, but Glia's eyes were locked on the diagnostic monitor behind Rayon. As the system rebooted, a single image flashed through the scrolling lines of code for a heartbeat. It was a map of the Blackwood Cottage, but one room, the cellar, was highlighted in a pulsing deep red. Overlaid on the map were 3 words in a jagged, handwritten font. "He is waiting." The screen flickered and returned to the standard purgatory login prompt. Kane hadn't seen it. "Forget the test," Kane spat, frustrated by the glitch. "The system is unstable. Just take the seat and get to the forest. If the killers are still at the cottage, I want their heads. Move." Glia nodded, her face a mask of calm. "Understood, Commander." As they walked toward the transport, the weight of the ghost's message settled in her chest. Subject 012 wasn't just haunting them. He had somehow gained access into the system. "Rayon," she whispered as they reached the car. "Did you see the screen?" Rayon shook his head, his face pale but strangely peaceful. "No, I just felt safe. For a second in the dark, I felt like I could breathe." Glia looked back at the towering shadow of Factory 9. The ghost was no longer in the machine. He was ahead of them, waiting in the trees of Blackwood.
Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this story, please like and subscribe so I can bring you more original stories, and please feel free to comment and share your thoughts. It will be much appreciated. Please come back and visit because more chapters are on the way. Thanks again.